I'm going to be talking about the unfortunate death of 8-year-old Ger'Mya. Hi guys, so welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, please consider subscribing to my channel. I would really appreciate it. I am super excited. I think I'm at 41 or 42 subscribers right now. Thank you to all my new subscribers. I really don't know what to say other than that. I'm just extremely excited that this platform continues to grow. So yeah, let's get started with today's case or story. Today is going to be a little bit different, only because it's really short. It just happened. I don't have much information, but I do think it's worth a conversation because I've like I said, as I've started doing research on some of these cases, I see trends, and that's the thing that's kind of like bothering me a little bit about the trends that I'm seeing. So, and I just want to know what you all think about it. So let's get into this story. Today I'm going to be talking about the unfortunate and untimely death of 8-year-old Ger'Mya Alexander from Bakersfield, California. On March 18, 2020, Bakersfield Police Department began the search for Clinton Mason. Clinton is a 38-year-old black male who was Ger'Mya's mother's boyfriend, and he is accused of taking baby Ger'Mya's life on Wednesday, March 18, 2020, while he was left to babysit her while her mother went to work. Now, the mom's family describes Mason as a violent man. They say that the relationship between Ger'Mya's mom and him was very volatile. They had a very bad relationship. He was violent. The police had to get involved previously with regard to, I guess, probably some sort of domestic violence altercation or situation that occurred between them, and that he's had previous run-ins with the family. So just before 6 a.m. on March 18, 2020, police officers received a report that a little girl was unresponsive and not breathing. They found 8-year-old Maya with obvious signs of trauma at their apartment, which was located in the 2700 block of San Dimas Street apartments. And immediately a warrant was issued for Clint Mason's arrest with regard to his involvement in Maya's death. He was last seen with Maya. Apparently he was watching her for Maya's mom while she went to work that day. Clint Mason is 38 years old. He walks with a limp. He's bald. Police ultimately ended up catching him the very next day.
Welcome back. 17 Crime Watch tonight. The search is over this hour as police have arrested a man accused of killing his girlfriend's daughter early Wednesday morning in Bakersfield. Clint Mason was arrested near Los Angeles this morning. Officers brought him back to Bakersfield where he's facing a murder charge. Bakersfield police say officers found Mason at a Motel 6 in Inglewood this morning. They say they took him into custody without incident. The victim has been identified as 8-year-old Ger'Mya Alexander. On Wednesday morning, officers found Ger'Mya not breathing at an apartment complex on San Dimas Street.
Family had already believed that he was going to be on the run without a vehicle, if I'm not mistaken, on foot, or somehow trying to get to LA area where he had family. And ultimately, police found him in Inglewood, California. Now, this whole story, there's not very many details with regard to what happened. The only details are what I have so far. But I have a question for everyone. What in the world would make this mother think that it would be okay for her to leave her 8-year-old daughter with this 38-year-old man while she went to work? That's my number one question. I'm not by any means, I feel horrible for her as a mom, but the question is, does she bear some responsibility for this? Because if you've already had run-ins, the family has already said that they've had run-ins with this man before. He's been violent. They've had to call the police. Don't know what the nature of those run-ins were, but any sort of violent tendency or any sort of violent run-in would make you have a second thought, I would think, about leaving your child with this person to watch them. Not to mention, she's a little girl. She's 8 years old. He's 38 years old. He already has a history of violent behavior. So I'm just trying to understand what would make this mother feel like she had no other alternative but to leave her child with this man. And I want to know what your thoughts are on that, because I think that's the bigger conversation here. I don't know. Let me see how old she was. The mom, but to me, it just really makes no sense that she would leave her with him. I understand your job requiring you to come into work. I understand we're in the current situation that we're in, where businesses and daycare centers and schools are closed. But what about family? She didn't have any sort of family, any sort of older, maybe even another teenager who was home that she could have left her daughter with. Why did she choose? That's my main question. Why did she choose to leave her 8-year-old daughter with this man who she knows to have had violent tendencies before? He doesn't appear to be her father. So this is just her boyfriend. I'm not sure how long she's known him or how long they've been dating, but the family clearly said that he has a past history of being violent and they've had run-ins with him before. So it just really bothers me, because I have another story that I'm going to talk to you guys about soon with a similar situation. As women, we have the ultimate responsibility of caring for our children. And I don't understand why this mom thought it would be okay. Was she, I just really wish I had more information. Did she feel like, it would be okay just this one time if she checked in on them? I don't know what would make her leave her 8-year-old daughter with this man. If you look at him, he looks crazy to me. That's just my personal opinion. But not even that. You have experience with his behavior. As an adult, she's had experience. Who knows what they've experienced? But the family clearly says that they had some sort of run-in with him. So why would you leave your child with him? I really want to know what you all think about that, and what, it just doesn't make sense. The family said they've had previous run-ins with him, which led them to call the police on him. So you decide that, that's in the past, I'm going to leave my 8-year-old daughter with him? No, Mom, I don't understand that. I don't understand that at all. I want to know, how long has she really known him? Why is it so easy for her or why was it so easy for her and other women? It's not just her. Why is it so easy for them or for her, or was it so easy for her to leave her child with this man, even though there's been past run-ins before? I don't get that. Even if she had to call out for work for one day, I'm not sure. The child is 8 years old. She would have been better off being left with an older cousin. I'm gonna go leave her with my 12-year-old or a 13-year-old cousin, as opposed to leaving her with this man. And what kind of man? I just don't understand it. I just feel like as women, we have to be careful who we allow our children around, who we allow into our lives first and foremost, and then most importantly, we're responsible for these children. So I think we have to be aware and careful about the type of men that we allow our children to be around. You may want to date him, and you may want to deal with all of the foolishness that comes along with him, but to allow your 8-year-old daughter to be subjected to him when you truly probably don't even really know him. I wonder how long they've been together. Like I said, police ultimately caught Clint Mason in Inglewood, California at a Motel 6, which he probably was trying to hide, of course, running away from the situation. But what could, like, I'm just so aggravated about this story because I don't understand why she would do this. Why would she leave her 8-year-old daughter with a 38-year-old man who she's had to, or her family has had to call the police on in the past? I wonder I really wonder how long they've known each other. And I guess that's my question for you all. Let me know in the comments below, like, do you think that as women, we're out there in the dating world or whatever, what's the time limit? Like, what's the time frame? How long, like, when do you think it's normal to introduce your children to whoever you're dating? And what do you think about introducing your children or having this a boyfriend, not even the child's father, a boyfriend watching a child for you when you have to go to work or when you have to do something like that? I don't know how I feel about that. I'm not sure that that's even an okay thing. If it's not your fiance, somebody you've known for at least a year, or somebody you're getting ready to marry, or something like that, I don't know if it's okay or should be seen as okay to allow this person to watch your children in this day and age. People have issues, underlying issues that you are not even able to tap into as an adult, when knowing them for such a short amount of time. So I don't know how I feel about that. I want to know what you all think. That's really the topic for today, along with sharing this horrible story about this beautiful little girl, 8 years old, Maya Alexander, dead at the hands of her mother's boyfriend, Clint Mason, who was caught by police on the run 1 day later after causing horrible, horrific trauma to this beautiful, beautiful little girl. What do you all think about these types of situations? Because I'm seeing more and more of them come up. As a mom, as a father, what's your viewpoint on that? Like, at what point do you say, and it's not just women, it's men too. If you happen to be the main caretaker of your children, how long do you think you should be dating someone before you would allow them to watch your child? Or, even for a day, I can maybe understand, let me run to the store for 15-20 minutes, or I'll be back in an hour or 2 hours, but you're trying to leave your child with this person for an entire day while you go to work. Let's use that as the test. What do you think? How long do you think you should have known this person before you attempt to do something like that? Let me know in the comments below how you feel about that. That's a tough one for me, because I just don't think it should be happening. I don't think in this day and age, first of all, I always just think of, what would they be doing all day? She doesn't, he's 38, she's 8. What are they doing all day? It's just her and him. I think about a bunch of different things in that whole situation. Okay, she's gonna be bored all day. That's the first thing that I would think. Second thing is, the second thing is, what is he going to be doing with her? I guess the number one thing is, this man has had prior incidents with the family. He has violent tendencies. Why? Question number one. Why would she think that it would be okay to leave her 8-year-old beautiful daughter with this man? I don't care. In that case, I don't care if it's for an hour. For her to go to work for a full day, knowing what they already have been through with this person. Number two, how long is long enough for this person to be a part of your family or your world before you feel like it's okay that you can leave your children, the most precious gift that you have, with them? That's my questions. I really want to know what you guys think about this. It's horrific that this little girl lost her life to this person who's obviously crazy. It's even more horrific that the mom has to live with the fact that she made a poor choice, because I'm calling it a poor choice. In my opinion, it's a poor choice. She made a poor choice to leave her child with someone who she's had prior situations with that were questionable. Whatever they were, they had to call the police. So it was a poor decision. And I'm sure she had alternatives that may have been less likely to cause issues. Even if it were the neighbor, even if it were grandma, even if it were auntie, even if it were, like I said, a little slightly older cousin. Hey, I'm gonna put, you over there with your little 12-year-old cousin. You guys can play around for the day, or a 9-year-old. I'm almost willing to bet that it was probably better for her to be left home alone than to be left with this person. And did they live together? Like, I'm curious. Like, I need more details. I really do. But in my personal opinion, there is really absolutely no excuse for him to be watching her when he has a known violent past. Family members say that they've had run-ins with him before. They've had to call the police on him. He's not this child's father. He shouldn't have been watching her, in my opinion. What do you all think? Leave your comments down below. I'm definitely going to be following this case because I want to see I want to hear some more details. I want to know how long they've been dating. I want to know, what were the past altercations that he had with the family, which led them to call the police on him. And like I said, I want to follow this case because there seems to be a pattern of behavior where young women are maybe feeling helpless. I don't know, feeling like they have no other resources but to do this, and they're putting their children's lives in jeopardy. And you have to be extra careful, extra cautious, and I feel like that is the message that we need to be putting out to young women and young men, because some men are responsible for their children. You need to be cautious about who you allow your children to get to know. If you don't really know them, why would you be trying to have your child get to know them? And I don't think you can do those things simultaneously. I think you need to get to know them first, and then based on what you know, make the decision on whether or not you would allow your child to know them. Because sometimes you may know them and it may just be that you know them and your kids don't know anything about them. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. This case is very, very sad to me because it just didn't have to happen. It didn't have to happen. It shouldn't have happened. I'm going to say he had no business watching this 8-year-old girl. I don't care if she was in a pinch, a bind, whatever you want to call it. She had no business she had no business allowing him to watch this little girl. And so those are my thoughts. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. I feel like this is really worth a conversation. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys are staying safe out there considering everything that's going on. It's crazy. This is something that we haven't seen in our lifetime, but we'll get through it. So thank you guys again for watching, and take care and be safe. Bye.